Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are taking a really necessary plunge into what is probably the most important real estate you'll ever own.
I like that framing.
Your mind.
Yeah.
Our focus is a deep analysis of some source material that gives, a really practical, evidence-based roadmap for building optimism, growing resilience, and teaching you how to genuinely thrive.
Exactly. Our mission for you is to, bypass all the fluffy motivational stuff and get right to the core. We're extracting the science-backed psychological tools.
Right.
We want to show you exactly how to manage that negative self-talk, stop feeling so stuck, and really protect your long-term cognitive health.
Yeah, and the guidebook we're pulling from is structured for rapid knowledge transfer. We're going to get into concepts like becoming the boss of your brain and show how even tiny daily habits are backed by some pretty surprising neuroscience.
Mm-hmm.
So get ready to rethink what mental toughness actually looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So when most people hear optimism, they immediately think of, this kind of mandatory cheerfulness.
Right, the fake smile.
Exactly. Pretending everything is great, even when it's clearly not. If that's what this was about, well, we tell you to switch this off right now.
And that's the first crucial distinction the source makes. True optimism isn't a mood. It's defined as an explanatory style.
An explanatory style.
Yeah, it's how you narrate your own life,
Yeah.
Especially when things go wrong.
So it's not about ignoring the problem, it's about how you interpret it.
Precisely. Real optimism is this mindset that sees challenges and setbacks as temporary and solvable.
Okay, temporary and solvable.
Right. Not as these fixed, permanent walls that define your future.
Wow.
And this interpretation style is critical for your ability to bounce back. The research cited is compelling. It suggests people with this optimistic perspective show a 50% higher ability to recover from trauma.
Wow. 50%.
Compared to those who interpret every failure pessimistically.
That reframes everything. It moves the focus away from the event itself and onto the internal story we create about it.
Mm.
I like that example they gave. The situation might be that you're put on reserve for a sports team. That's a fact.
Just a fact.
But the thought that pops into your head might be, I am useless, I'll never be good enough. And that thought is just a notion. It's not reality.
And that's where we get our power back, debating that automatic negative interpretation. I mean, that's the cornerstone of therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT.
Right.
The goal isn't to replace I'm useless with some crazy I'm a champion. The goal is to find actual evidence to challenge that first thought and replace it with something more, rational. Like, okay, the coach wants me to develop, I need more practice. But before we even get to the tools, we have to talk about a major hurdle many people face, which is learned helplessness. And this isn't just, low motivation. It's a real psychological state where past failures have literally conditioned the brain to believe that any effort is pointless.
It's like your brain built a tiny prison cell for itself, and it's convinced that even if the door is unlocked, there's no point in trying to leave.
That is a perfect analogy. The person just stops looking for solutions because their brain has been trained to predict failure.
So how do you break that?
Well, the brilliant insight from the material is how simple it can be to break that spell. It says that often all it takes is one more attempt. Just one single small success can shatter those limits of doubt. It just resets that whole internal narrative.
And that struggle, that push to make one more attempt, that's where grit comes in.
Exactly.
The source defines it really simply as courage plus effort plus not giving up. But it's deeper than that, isn't it?
Oh, much deeper. And the reason this all matters scientifically is because of neuroplasticity. Our brains are not fixed.
Right.
Every single time you push past a limiting belief, every time you choose effort over just giving up, you are literally rewiring your brain. You're building new, stronger neural pathways that reinforce resilience.
So grit isn't something you're born with.
Not at all. It's a mental muscle you develop by constantly, consistently challenging those limiting beliefs.
Okay, so once we get that, we can actually reprogram our own persistence. The next question is, how? How specifically? And this brings us to the ABCDE model, which is, the ultimate cognitive tool. It's based on foundational work from Albert Ellis and Aaron Beck in CBT.
And it's so effective because it forces you to pause. It puts a space between the event and your emotional reaction. It turns what feels like a crisis into just a problem to be solved.
Let's walk through it with that scenario from the source. about Sarah and her drawing competition.
Good idea.
So we start with A, adversity, the event.
Yeah.
Sarah's drawing gets 5 likes.
That's it. Then comes B, belief. This is that lightning fast, automatic, negative thought.
My drawing must be fundamentally bad.
Everyone thinks I'm a terrible artist. Yeah.
And C, consequence, the feeling and the behavior. She feels embarrassed and she quits. She decides she'll never enter another art competition again.
She might even stop drawing. But now comes the superpower. D, disputation.
This is where she challenges the belief.
Exactly. She acts like a lawyer cross-examining the evidence. She asks, is 5 likes really proof I'm bad? Well, no. Maybe the other kids just have more followers. My teachers have admired my work.
Likes on a screen don't define my value.
Right. And then comes E, energization. The new feeling. She feels calmer. She realizes her reaction was way out of proportion.
And she decides to keep drawing because she loves it.
And this isn't just some nice theory. There are longitudinal studies with kids teaching them this exact ABCDE structure.
And what happened?
The results were remarkable. In one study with 5th and 6th graders, this training significantly reduced future rates of moderate to severe depression. After just 1 year, the group that learned this had depression rates nearly 3/4 lower than the control group.
Wow.
It's because challenging those thoughts activates your prefrontal cortex, your thinking brain, which then sends calming signals down to your amygdala, your emotional brain.
So fighting those negative stories with the ABCDE model is, it's crucial. But real mental toughness needs daily maintenance, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like exercise for your brain. The sources outline several core habits that act as the fuel for your resilience.
Let's start with one that sounds simple but isn't. Practice gratitude.
And this isn't just saying thanks. It's actively training your attention to focus on what's working.
Right.
The research here it's profound. Consistent gratitude practice, even for just 6 months, can significantly boost life satisfaction and reduce depression symptoms.
And it spills over into your physical health, too. The sources point out that people who practice gratitude tend to exercise more, they eat better, they even have stronger immune systems.
They mention that PENN exercise, what went well, which is just writing down 3 good things that happened each day. So simple.
So simple. Okay, next is effective goal setting. I think we all fail at this because our goals are just too big. I want to be healthier.
Right, what does that even mean? To be effective, the source says goals have to be broken down into specific small steps that are measurable and achievable.
Like the goal, read 20 books this year. That feels huge.
Overwhelming.
But if you break it down to, I will read 5 pages every day after dinner. That's specific, it's achievable, it's measurable. You've just guaranteed your own success.
Another fantastic tool is knowing and using your character strengths. Everyone has them. Curiosity, humor, perseverance. The key is to know your top ones and then proactively use them to deal with your weaknesses.
I love the example they gave. If you have to give a nerve-wracking presentation and one of your top strengths is humor, don't hide it.
Use it.
Use it to lighten the mood, to connect with the audience. You use the strength you already have as armor.
And of course, there's mindfulness. The power of being present. It stops your brain from ruminating on the past or worrying about the future.
And for anyone thinking this is just, spiritual fluff, there's hard science. fMRI studies show daily meditation can physically increase the size of your hippocampus for memory and learning and decrease activity in the amygdala, the fear center.
Your brain physically changes for the better. And finally, build your support squad.
And not online followers.
No, absolutely not. The source points to that famous, ongoing 80-year Harvard study. It found the true secret to lifelong happiness and resilience isn't wealth or status. It's strong, positive, real-life relationships. Loneliness, on the other hand, can be incredibly damaging.
Okay, so we can build all this mental armor, but we still have to navigate these modern stressors that are designed to steal our focus.
The digital storm.
Right, and the source is clear. Technology is a neutral tool, but you have to be the one in control of it.
And the stats on uncontrolled screen use are, well, they're concerning. A recent U.S. study of adolescents found heavy social media users, so 3 or more hours a day, reported persistent sadness or hopelessness at nearly double the rate of light users.
And the gender gap is stark. In that study, 57% of girls reported persistent sadness, compared to just 28% of boys.
It really highlights the need for boundaries. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommendations are so practical. Create a family media plan, ban phones from bedrooms at night.
That's a huge one.
It is. And have screen-free times, like during meals. These are just preventative health measures.
The sources also touched on something called excessive attachment. referencing intense fandoms like K-pop or anime.
Right. And interests are healthy, but recent studies show that when fan life starts to overtake real life, it can seriously disrupt your balance. It leads to less sleep, worse grades.
And it sets up these unrealistic expectations about, appearance and relationships that real life just can't meet.
And we have to talk about the AI trap, specifically over-relying on tools like ChatGPT for schoolwork.
Right.
AI is powerful, but studies are showing that students who just copy answers without thinking are actually impairing their own critical thinking and analytical skills.
The tool is replacing the process of learning.
Exactly, which leads to lower understanding and, surprise, worse test scores. Resilience requires you to exercise your own mind.
So once you've built up your cognitive armor and tamed some of those digital distractions, the source moves on to real-life application. Emotional intelligence.
Yeah, using psychologist Martin Seligman's 5-step problem-solving model.
And the first step is honestly the most powerful. Slow down. When a conflict happens, our instinct is to react with those hot knee-jerk thoughts. They did that on purpose.
The advice is just like, pause, replace that explosion with a calm, thoughtful response. A calm mind is a superpower.
Then, step 2. See the big picture. Before you assume the worst, just gather some evidence. Try to put yourself in their shoes for a second.
It instantly deflates the conflict. Then step 3 is goal setting. What do you actually want to achieve here? Not, I want to win, but maybe I want my friend to understand my size so we can move on.
Right. Then you choose a method, and finally, you check the result. If it didn't work, you adjust and try again. Persistence over perfection.
Always.
The section wraps up by highlighting a few essential social skills that feed right back into your resilience. Things like assertiveness.
Which is expressing your needs firmly, but without being aggressive or a pushover.
Like that ice cream example. If the server brings you the wrong flavor, assertiveness is calmly saying, I ordered chocolate, this is vanilla, I need you to please correct the order.
You state the fact, express the feeling, and ask for a solution. And key to all of this is empathy. Genuinely trying to see the world through someone else's eyes before you judge.
And listening like a leader. So not just waiting for your turn to talk.
No, listening to actually understand. That one action can reduce so much tension and conflict. And all these skills giving sincere feedback, encouragement, they strengthen your support squad. They build that foundation for when things get tough. Hashtag outro.
So what does this all boil down to for you? We've seen that true optimism isn't a personality trait, it's a learned mindset of solvability.
Viewing challenges as temporary and manageable. Resilience is that buildable armor created with cognitive tools like the ABCDE model and reinforced by consistent daily habits.
Especially gratitude, mindfulness, and those strong real-world relationships.
You now have the roadmap for mental toughness, and it's all derived directly from tested psychological principles. The goal isn't perfection right away. It's just consistent progress.
And remember that powerful insight from Viktor Frankl. The future is not something we enter. The future is something we create.
That's it.
You have the agency to create that resilient future, starting right now. So we'd encourage you to take one small practical step today. Try the 1-minute breathing reset, or maybe apply the ABCDE model to a minor setback you had this week. We've given you the shortcut to becoming well-informed on this essential topic. Now go out there and start creating.